Took you long enough, Taggart. No luck, huh?
I told Tom Bailey you'd even buy his mine, Mr. Decker, if that's the only way you could get its equipment, but he won't sell either.
You mean he thinks he won't? That sign discourages me. Let's wait at prices.
Hey, look, there's Bailey and Lou McKenzie now.
Looks like I'm going to have company.
McKenzie's on his way to Vancouver. He's making the trip for Bailey.
Probably going after money. I'll find out before we get to Whitehorse. The best you have. This your best?
You can't get better, south of Dawson or north of Denome. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Here's to you, Taggart. Getting what I want.
I know that when I started your copper mine here, sir, you figured on getting Bailey's equipment cheap as part of the deal, but he means what he says.
I don't care what he says. I want his milling machinery at any price. The cost of shipping heavy machinery like that is prohibitive.
We could let him do the milling of our copper for us at the usual percentage.
And be at Bailey's mercy? Oh, no. Ownership of that mill is the difference between profit and loss for the Decker copper mine.
I see. No mill, no job for me running the mine, is that it?
I don't start anything I can't control. That's why I make money and Bailey goes broke.
Bailey should have made sure he had a big vein before getting all set to mine one.
That's his mistake. And it's up to you to take advantage of it for me.
This bag has Decker's name on it. I'll have him pestering me all the way out.
He knows I've been prospecting these parts ever since the vein in the mine worked out. But don't say anything about that ore you have on you.
Don't worry, you ain't even told me where you found it.
Well, if there's as much gold in that vein as I think, you'll know quick enough.
I hope that Vancouver expert tells me it's better than that. But what about the mine? Decker will be asking.
You better be consistent. Tell him I won't sell.
As I told you before, Mr. Decker, I'll do the best I can.
Bartender,
Yes, sir.
will I get any change? I don't pay anyone for jumping to conclusions.
I was thinking about Tom Bailey when I turned up that ace of spades.
Decker doesn't go in for murder, Taggart neither.
But if Taggart were like Bull Andrews...
And you get all sorts in a river stop like Canaska.
I'm still thinking about Tom Bailey.
Well, so this is the reason you're hanging on to your mill machinery. You know, I had a hunch all the time you were only pretending to look for gold on the outside, and you were really operating this mine here. So I watched you and followed you.
None of your business what I got or what I do on my own property.
No wonder you wouldn't sell to Decker. You've uncovered a big new vein. That's why Mackenzie went to Vancouver. And a big pocket of free gold. You've made one of the greatest strikes I've ever seen.
I wouldn't say anything about this if I were you. If you start a strike, you better locate some gold for yourself first.
No, I will. I won't say anything about it. Why should you want to keep it a secret? You're mine.
The Lord don't know where that ore he got came from, and I didn't want to say anything till I was sure.
Nobody knows about this but us, huh?
Nobody. I just found the pocket, and Lord figured I didn't trust him if I didn't tell him first.
What a secret. $500,000 at least in that pocket. A few weeks digging ought to clean it out.
Well, you're an expert. You should know. What about the vein?
I'm not interested. You'd have to own the mine to work it.
What are you driving at? Decker plays rough, but he ain't no crook.
That's just exactly what Decker likes people to think about him. All this trouble just because I didn't search Bailey's body before I pushed it off the cliff.
Yeah, Blackie wouldn't have found no gold, and then there wouldn't have been no strike.
No crowd of sourdoughs. I could have cleaned that pocket out by this time without any risk of being seen.
Well, it didn't happen that way. So all you can do is the next best thing.
I know, but sealing Bailey's tunnel so it looks like a cave-in. Well, we'll get the gold all right, but this is sure going to be digging it out the hard way.
One thing you learn from Decker. If you can't do it one way, do it another.
So he's decided to come and see us.
Yes, sir. It's about time, don't you think?
Show him in.
Certainly, sir. This way, sir.
Thank you. I haven't seen you for some time, Mr. Decker, but frankly, I've been expecting you.
I've been East Superintendent and just returned. Here I am. The situation in Canaska has me worried.
It should. Sit down, do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ledoux. And no interruptions, if you please.
Very well, sir.
I want to hear what you know.
Well, Tom Bailey refused to sell me his worked-out mine. I wanted the machinery. Then the day after I left Canaska, he was found murdered, and the nuggets on him started a new strike.
Those are the facts. Here are the motives. Bailey was murdered either because he refused to sell out to you or to keep him from telling where he found pay dirt.
Yes, that's why I'm here. My man in Canaska...
Taggart?
Yes. I received a report from him. Someone in Canaska is accusing me of the murder.
For the moment, let's say you can prove your innocence. What about Taggart?
Decent enough fellow.
Do you know Lord Mackenzie?
Yes. Came down on the boat with me. Was going to Vancouver for Tom Bailey. Wouldn't tell me why, though.
I see. Is that all you know?
Yes, unfortunately.
I was hoping you'd have something more specific for Corporal Wayne. He's en route now to Canaska. The best man possible for this case.
Sergeant Nelson. We've been expecting you, Corporal Wayne, but not so soon.
Well, frankly, I got here 2 days faster than I figured myself.
Meet Constable Moselle. He'll be working with you.
In Canaska, they call me Frenchy. I am a French Canadian.
You should have let me guess. Any developments in the Bailey murder case since I left Superintendent McDonald?
This Wayne, he's one fast man. He arrives 2 days sooner, and already he's working.
The sooner the better. Sit down.
Hello, Blackie. You lost. You bet the Mounties wouldn't have a man here on the Bailey case before Sunday. Well, he just rode in.
You always did want this ring. That's what I get, betting against the Mounties. If a bet on the Mounties is all we lose, that won't hurt. But they're moving fast. We better do the same thing.
Suits me.
And so we haven't any lead to Bailey's murderer. But we do have his pay dirt.
Blackie LaRock. He found Bailey and the nuggets. To everyone, he tells about Bailey. And the nuggets, he starts to spend them.
That's what caused the strike, and we took the nuggets away from him.
For the daughter of this Bailey, we keep them.
A daughter, huh? Is she here?
Oh, no. The young lady, she arrives soon with Lord Mackenzie.
One nice thing about raw gold, you can always trace it to its source.
Yes, the raw gold, she's different in every mine. So, if you compare the gold that you have with the gold from the mine, always you can tell from which mine it comes from.
Somebody got to the safe since I closed it last night. The nuggets are gone.
Anybody who dare rob the service is certainly desperate. Anything else missing?
Not as far as I can see.
Whoever it was knew we could use those nuggets to trace where they came from. Find the mine and we've got the murderer. How about the man who gave them to you?
Blackie LaRock couldn't possibly have anything to do with the murder.
Oh, Blackie LaRock. He goes to Madame La Misterioso, the woman with the second sight, to have her tell him where Bailey found the nuggets. But all he finds is big rocks and little gold.
Isn't she the fortune teller who's been spreading the rumor that Decker engineered Bailey's murder?
Yes, but I don't think there's any connection. Just a coincidence.
Any lead is better than none. I'm going to have this Madame Misterioso read my fortune.
He's just been robbed. You may arrest him at leisure. I know him.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure. It's impossible for me to be mistaken. I have tuned myself to his vibrations.
Well, we can't convict anybody on that sort of evidence. I'd better
Wait.
go...
I forgot. Northwest Mounted doesn't believe in mind reading. Sit down.
Madame Mysterioso sure can't read her own mind. She wasn't expecting me.
Bailey's gold nuggets. Nobody's going to use these to identify gold from Bailey's claim now. Unless you've slipped up. Are you sure these are the only 2 nuggets you didn't turn over to the Mounties?
You'd better be. I've taken enough chances getting them back. That safe last night, Madame Mysterioso's just now.
I told you before, them are the only 2 I had.
All right, Blackie. That's yours. There's more where that came from if you keep your mouth shut. I want you to do me a favor, will you?
Sure. What do you want?
Put this box in a shipment of copper ore samples I'm sending to Decker. You'll find the box of ore on the boat, all ready for landing. Now get a move on.
So, the Rock paid me 2 nuggets for telling him where I thought Bailey had found the gold. It wasn't one of my better predictions.
That was the first time you saw the ring?
Yes, the other time was just before you entered. It seems Blackie felt that he hadn't gotten his money's worth and came back and took a refund with interest.
I think I know another reason why Blackie wanted your savings. I'll postpone my reading until a later time, if you don't mind.
If you bring me back my money, and I'll tell you your fortune for nothing.
That's a bargain.
Since Madame Mysterioso, she was robbed, you have not been around for 1 whole day. And now you have some money. You much better come with us.
You ain't got nothing on me, Frenchy.
You have a snake ring, Blackie. Madame Mysterioso saw you wearing it twice. Why aren't you wearing it now?
I've only been to that fake fortune teller once, so she didn't see it on me twice. Anyway, I lost it last week.
You'll have a chance to prove what you say. Come along.
Sure, I'll come with you.
What is it, Blackie?
Double-crossed. Bailey's gold. Ore shipment. Boat. Downriver. Yesterday. The man who shoots, he's gone. But he lose this on deck.
Don't touch it. Let it ring. You let me do the thinking. Get this ore box open.
What's the hurry? Nobody's coming.
This place is gonna burn down. Everybody will think the watchman was toasted. Nobody will know we got the nuggets.
Corporal Wayne, the Northwest Mounted from Canaska to see you.
Oh, well, show him in, please.
Mr. Decker will see you, Corporal.
Excuse me just a moment, Corporal.
No, they're not.
Wait! Hello, Dad. What are you doing here and in that uniform?
Investigating the Bailey murder case in Canaska.
But I thought Corporal Wayne was... Oh, you're the man McDonald called Corporal Wayne. Are you ashamed of the name of Decker?
Of course not, Dad. You see,
I do not see, and I'm not interested in your explanation.
You should be.
The last talk I had with you was quite a while ago. Still stands. Do you remember it?
Wasn't it something to the effect that I was on my own unless I continued working for the Decker Company?
That's right. You're on your own until you come to your senses.
You obviously haven't, so there's nothing more to be said.
I'm afraid there is, Dad. You see, the objection I raised at that time over your ruthless business methods has cropped up again in this case.
What is any more ruthless than setting a son against his own father?
Still up to your old trick of trying to put your opponent on the defensive, aren't you, Dad?
I ask you a question.
Hardly a fair one.
Under the circumstances, I consider it very fair. You've been assigned to prove that I committed a murder.
No, I haven't, Dad. I'm trying to solve a murder. Now, you've had dealings with Bailey, and just between the two of us, I've traced some of the gold nuggets found on his body to an ore shipment sent by boat to you.
You what?
The captain of the riverboat said one of your drays picked up the shipment.
Have you been to the smelter?
I understand you've closed it.
Certainly, for the season, but that's where you'll find the ore.
Thanks a lot, Dad.
I wonder why Blackie didn't mark one of these so we'd know which box the nuggets is in. Now we're getting someplace.
It's about time. I smell smoke.
Bunker don't do things by halves. He's waiting. Come on.
Very well. That was Jackson Decker.
I'd like to have seen his face when he met Corporal Wayne and found himself looking at his only son.
Decker said Wayne had just left him, going after those nuggets that tie into the Bailey murder.
Decker knows where they are?
At his smelter. In a shipment of copper ore samples from Canaska. The place is closed for the season, but Decker rang his watchman. Couldn't get him, and he's worried.
Well, I don't blame him. Bailey's murderer is also after the gold. I'd better go down there.
Do that. Decker's on his way to the smelter now.
Superintendent McDonald's office. Yes? What? That was the fire chief, sir. The smelter's burning and can't be saved.
didn't get the nuggets, Lace, but nobody else will either.
Too bad all that gold had to be wasted, but... Say, you two ain't holding out on me, are you?
Not this time. We had to fight a Mountie.
A Mountie?
Yeah, he got the gold in his face, but the fire got him in the pay dirt.
If he's the Mountie I think he is, we've really done ourselves a job.
I don't think I'll be around here much longer.
I know I won't. We gotta raise some money first.
We can use it. I got the place to lie low. Come on.
And so Sergeant Ledoux arrived, sir, right after Dad had me safely out in the street.
How about the nuggets you went after?
I didn't get them.
Well, that trail's lost. I'm sorry about your watchman.
Yes, insurance will build me a new smelter, but it won't bring him back to life. I'm certain the two men I fought with were after Bailey's gold.
Ledoux on the job? They were probably working for Bailey's murderer.
Well, do you still believe the rumors someone in Canaska is spreading about me? You shouldn't ask me that question, Dad. You know I'd never believe you a murderer. I didn't know. You left the company because you didn't approve of my business methods. Trying to buy property like Bailey's mill at 10 cents on the dollar because somebody's forced to sell isn't my idea of making money, that's all.
That's why Canaskas will think the worst of you, Mr. Decker.
I'm afraid your opinion of me isn't much higher. But assigning my son to this case is hardly cricket, you know.
On the contrary, Corporal Wayne protects you. He's familiar with your business, has mining experience, is a good investigator, and has your interest at heart.
Why Corporal Wayne, then, instead of Corporal Jackson Wayne Decker?
No one in Canaska knows your son, and we don't want them to, just now.
Disapprove of my business methods all you wish. They're perfectly legal. As for you, I won't tell anyone who you really are. I may be tough, Wayne, but I fight in the open. You can always get me at my office.
And so I figured my credit was good with you. You see, I want to get away from here for a little while, and I'm short already cash.
The longer you stay away, Archer, the less it'll cost me.
You'll save money on me this time, Mr. Decker. Thanks.
Met Mr. Decker and he gave me those for you.
Did he tell you where he got them?
From the floor at the smelter. The Bailey gold. There's our lost lead.
Thanks to an angry father. How about the men who attacked Wayne?
No lead. They saw to that by starting the fire.
How do you plan using these nuggets, Corporal Wayne?
But it all depends on Bailey's daughter.
This telegram from Sergeant Nelson in Canaska assures me that Miss June Bailey saw him the moment she arrived and is willing to do anything to help bring her father's murderer to justice.
Thanks ever so much, Mr. Price.
You're welcome, June. Always glad to do anything for Tom Bailey's daughter.
What's the meeting about?
She didn't say and I didn't ask.
Going to it?
You know me, Dancer. Why go any place when everybody comes here sooner or later and talks?
Now, why should I cut to the joke?
Attention, Canaska miners. Come to the Bailey mine this afternoon and learn how you can make a better profit on your ore. Signed, June Bailey.
Seems to me I got back to Canaska just in time for fireworks.
Maybe you did at that. All depends on the Bailey girl.
And in conclusion, my good man, I see evil surrounding you. Evil. The Decker Company. Jackson Decker. A man who might even have done murder.
Don't worry about me and Decker, ma'am. They say he knows who murdered Tom Bailey.
Good. You're safe. $5, please. Tell your friends about Madame Mysterioso. Sees all, knows all. Thank you. Hello, June. Hello, Dilly. Is the town well papered?
A person would have to be blind if they didn't see at least one of those posters.
Good. I've been busy, too. That was my 7th customer this morning. 7 more enemies for Jackson Decker.
Were you able to get any information from any of them?
Not much. They're mostly drifters following the gold strike. None of them seem to know much about what's going on around here.
I'll admit, Dilly, that for an amateur, you're a good palmist. But to accept money for your wild predictions, it isn't right.
If I didn't charge them, they'd suspect me. Well, they're satisfied, and after all, Mr. Price is the only one who loses. They just have that much less money to squander at his place.
Yes, but someday someone is going to suspect you.
That's what I love about this. For the first time in my life, I'm taking a risk.
Well, if it does what we want.
It will. Sooner or later, somebody is going to give me the evidence we need to hang Jackson Decker for the murder of your father.
If Decker didn't do it, someone did it for him.
He's responsible for a lot of things, and none of them good. When did Corporal Wayne arrive?
Probably in time for the meeting this afternoon. He suggested it to Sergeant Nelson, but he hasn't explained his plan yet.
You know, June, sometimes I wish I really could foretell the future.
Boys, meet June Bailey. Some of you sourdoughs have prospected with old Tom, her dad, and nearly all of you knew him, so I figure you'll be glad to hear what she has to say. Go ahead, June.
You prospectors are all alike. The minute you strike pay dirt, you want as big a profit as possible. As it is now, the ore from your claims is shipped in bulk. Freight rates cut the profits in half.
They're cut more than that sometimes.
Yeah, you tell her much more.
Yeah.
Before the vein petered out here in Dad's mine, he installed a mill. I'm assured it's still in perfect condition. Isn't that right, Lode?
It sure is. And we can handle all the ore from this district at the usual charge per ton. And you ship concentrates to the smelter.
If they get away with this, Taggart, we'll have Decker on our necks in no time. Don't I know it? Probably lose what we're after.
Lode helped Dad establish the mill, and he's the only one around here who can run it, so he'll naturally be in charge.
Take care of Mackenzie, Jack.
Boys, this is the first break we've had since we hit Canaska.
Those dead Johnnies to pay freight on.
I'm all for it. How about the rest of you boys?
I had to shoot this man to stop him from murdering one of you.
It's Jack Hanley, all right. The miners will take care of the body.
Thank you, Corporal. Corporal Wayne?
And June Bailey?
I want to thank you myself. I'm Lode Mackenzie. Hanley was gunning for me in June.
Well, frankly, I didn't expect action so soon. This is your reward for cooperating with me.
You'll probably find that Handley worked for Decker. Oh, but this is no place to talk about it, is it? How about the office?
Better?
They're going inside.
I'm curious. How about you?
Go ahead. I'll meet you at the mine. Don't let them see you.
Would you mind telling us why you want us to put the mill into operation?
It might solve Mr. Bailey's murder.
Well, I don't see how.
We have no lead to the murderer, but we do have a lead to the gold strike Mr. Bailey made.
Well, in his last letter, Dad mentioned the strike. I'll read that part of it to you. And if the ore assays the yield I think, I've stumbled onto one of the richest mines in the Yukon Territory. I haven't told Lode where it is, but I'll let you both know as soon as I'm sure I'm right. Dad was murdered either so that Decker could get a hold of the mill or to prevent him from filing the claim. But what has this got to do with operating the mill?
The gold found in your father was free gold. The mines are taking out ore. You can usually identify a mine by the raw gold taken from it.
Sure, anybody that knows can. But you have to have some of the gold for comparison. I haven't any of the ore, and well, the nuggets were stolen.
I only got 2 of these back. That's all you'll need, isn't it?
And if gold like this shows up in the mill, then we'll know what mine it's from. And the owner will be Dad's murderer.
Or lead us to him.
Yes, because when you locate the mine, you'll find that it's owned by Jackson Decker. He must have known about Dad's strike.
You never can tell about murder, Miss Bailey. One of its characteristics is deceit.
Tacker down below?
Yeah, he's putting a bee on the boys to speed things up.
After you blow that charge, drift your direction 5 degrees to the left. Then all we'll have to do is dig until we hit the tunnel I sealed off in the Bailey mine.
All right. The sooner we get to that gold you say we'll find, the better I like it.
Any luck?
That ain't the word for it. Wayne's got the Bailey girl to start a mill. He has some of her dad's gold.
Wayne has some of Bailey's nuggets?
Yeah. Plans to check them with all ore brought to the mill.
Well, he won't find gold like Bailey's. Then he's liable to think there may be some still left in the Bailey mine after all.
You'll be right, too. Only by then we'll have the pocket cleaned out.
No, it won't be that easy. Don't overlook Decker. He's gonna hit the roof when he finds out the girl's running that mill. Profits for her, no chance to buy her out.
Then the mill better never start running.
Any way we do it, it'll keep Decker quiet. But we've still got to lead Wayne away from here long enough to finish this tunnel.
Well, if you can do it. But how are you gonna kill them two birds with one stone?
That's easy.
Either the miners I talked to honestly don't know who attacked them or are too frightened to tell.
She's always the same thing. The ore, she's ready to go to the mill. The raiders take it, and the miners, they do not know who do these things to them.
Somebody must know that you have Mr. Bailey's nuggets, Wayne, and doesn't want us to compare them with the ore from this region.
It looks that way, sir. And it makes me almost certain that one of the mines around here ought to prove to be Mr. Bailey's original strike.
As I've said before, when you locate it, you'll find it's owned by Jackson Decker.
First, we've got to get the ore up to the mill to compare it.
Now what?
Wayne's changed his tactics. Him and French are swearing in deputies.
Deputies, that means he's after you and your raiders, just what we want.
Not according to what one of them told me. They're riding guard on a bunch of ore wagons. Wayne's aiming to get ore to that mill.
The only road from the mining district to June Bailey's mill is through Dark Canyon. Round up all the men you can get.
Come the ore wagons now.
I'll go back and get the others ready. We cleared it. Let him have this one. We've got another if we need it.